I'm Alex from the Combined Military Services Museum. We're having a look at some of the high powers from the Donington collection. We have 4 examples here, 3 assembled, 1 disassembled. We have 2 extra magazines and then a collection of 9mm ammunition, which is the standard ammunition for most high powers. This is one of the earliest examples we have. In 1940, when Belgium was invaded by the Germans, the FN factory, which was located in Belgium, took over the FN factory and they put it to work on making high powers. They weren't of the best quality because they used slave labour, and obviously there were different bits of sabotage happened. The workers didn't want to be there. This example has a Nazi eagle stamped on the slide to show that this is a Nazi production one. The original apprentice who finished the work on the high power after John Browning passed away in 1926 carried on and finished it in 1935 when, again, Belgium was invaded by Germany. He fled the country to Britain. He took some of the designs with him. It was incomplete, but he remembered it, and in 1944 production of them started in Canada, and this is one of the Canadian-made ones by the John Inglis Company. This one specifically is a Mark I Star. It's of a good quality, as the original apprentice could help tool up the factory, and they were made to a high quality. Production started in 1944, so it was very near the end of the war, which is why not many British soldiers ever got the chance to use one of these. It was more of a special operations executive pistol, and yeah, I don't know, it's that one. This is a much later example. This is made in the original FN factory as well, but this was made in the 80s. It has an aftermarket grip on it, which is why it seems chunkier than the grips on the rest of them. The safety has also been put on both sides, whereas on the previous examples, the safety was only on the left side. The safety can only ever be engaged when the hammer is cocked back. It can sit in the slide, and when you pull the trigger, nothing happens. You would flick down and then release the hammer like that. Other than that, a few lightning cuts were made here and there to make it less weighty, to make the production a bit cheaper whilst keeping the same quality of them. As you can see, this is the standard 13-round magazine. Other size magazines were made in the future after World War II. This is a 20-round magazine, which was favoured for SAS use. This is a 30-round magazine, which is known to be a bit unreliable and to not be the best thing, because obviously you've got this large thing sticking out the back of the pistol in which you can get it caught on things when handling. The history of the pistol starts after John Browning finishes his famous 1911 pistol. The patent for it was sold to Colt Manufacturing, and so when Browning came to design a new pistol whilst working for FN, he had to work around the patents for it by designing a new working system inside the pistol. Unfortunately, during the designing of it, in 1926, Browning unfortunately passed away. His apprentice at the FN factory in Belgium carried on making the handgun using the designs that he'd previously left over. Fortunate enough for him, in 1928, the patent for the 1911 design expired, so things that were better about the 1911 were then introduced into the pistol. It was finally finished in 1935, just in time for the French military service pistol replacement program, in which they put forward the idea that they wanted a high capacity, powerful pistol, hence high power. The high capacity was to be at least 10 rounds in the magazine, and the powerful cartridge to be used was a minimum of 9mm. Unfortunately, at the end of the trials in 1937, France adopted a French-made pistol, which didn't apply to the previously mentioned circumstances that they needed for the pistol. It turned out to be a 7mm pistol that had a capacity of 8 rounds. but the pistol would go on to be an extremely popular handgun, adopted by well over 70 different countries, and over 1.5 million of them have been in production from 1935. Production ended in 2018, but after a period of time where different factories around the world started making their own high powers, as there were no longer a market for new ones being produced by the FN factory or Browning. But over time, they realised that it was missed. So in 2022, the pistol was reintroduced by FN with a few different things added and changed to it, while keeping the same system, the same style, and the same handgun ultimately. For disassembly, first, you would always check that the firearm is safe and empty. Cock it back once or twice. You then want to engage the safety in a catch up here by pulling back, engaging the safety. Then the pin for the slide can be released. And then you release the slide, it will fly forwards because it's still under spring tension under here. You then get ready to release the safety and the slide will come off. That's the lower of the handgun, that's the pin. And then for the slide, you can take the spring out, and the barrel will also come out. And so you have a disassembled one, like the example down here. For reassembly, you simply do the opposite way round. And again, the magazine has to be inserted for the firing pin to be hit by the hammer. Just to recap, these are some of the examples of Browning pistols and high powers we have at the collection. This one is the German-occupied Belgian-made version. This is the Canadian-made British service version. And this one is the modern FN-made version. Two different magazines, the original extended, the 9mm ammunition, and a disassembled version just for reference. If you're interested in seeing more of the collection, please consider visiting the Combined Military Services Museum in Maldon, Essex, United Kingdom.